As always, this review for Dragon Ball Super is sponsored by Verve, the place where you can watch Dragon Ball Super both subbed and dubbed. And it's more than just anime. Verve is always adding brand new content. Like in December, they just added Drama Fever from Korea. Classic anime is also on there like Yu Yu Hakusho, Cowboy Bebop, Fooly Cooly, and new anime as well like My Hero Academia, Black Clover, and God, there's just so much on there. Check it out. Link is down below. Alright folks, let's talk about Dragon Ball Super episode 124, Shippuden to no Moshu, Gohan Haisui no Jin, which translates to a stormy, fierce attack. Gohan fights with his back to the wall. And that back to the wall line does apply when it comes to the strategy that Gohan used in the episode, but I do find it a little interesting that the title of the episode is a little bit baity because we don't even see Gohan in action until halfway through the episode. You know, the first half of the episode, we didn't even see Gohan. I don't even remember even seeing him there. The episode was pretty much just all fighting. There's a few interesting things that happened, which I'll get into, but it was all just action. You know, and that's pretty much how it's going to be until this tournament ends. You know, I'm predicting that the tournament is going to go on until probably around episode 129 or 130, and then episode 131 will be the final wrap-up episode of Dragon Ball Super. And if you have missed the news this week, yes, folks, Dragon Ball Super is indeed going off the air in March, and I have full details on that in a 30-minute live stream that I did a couple days ago, so check that out if you haven't. And also I have a video with an update that I put out earlier today with a little bit more information. We'll be covering this story in the next few weeks, and I'm probably going to do like a Q&A, either a stream or just a Q&A online to answer all your questions about that. But the stream will answer the questions. If you haven't watched the stream yet, check that out. But let's go ahead and talk about this episode here. So the episode begins with Goku and Vegeta facing off with Jiren. Vegeta's new power, of course, is glowing. They show a little bit of stuff here, but not too much. You know, they attack, Jiren fires some ki, they dodge, they double team, Jiren go 2-on-1. Pretty decent fight scenes here, Beerus cheering them on. You know, Goku talks about how the attacks don't really phase him, but Vegeta's like, well, now it's time to get serious. And Beerus, of course, tells us that they have to beat Jiren if Universe 7's going to win, which is like a pretty obvious statement. They have a pretty cool scene where Goku and Vegeta fire these simultaneous Kamehamehas and final flashes at Jiren, who takes them, of course, and he powers out of it in this huge, like, volcanic ash explosion. Of course, the attacks did nothing, even though people thought it would. You know, again, really good-looking stuff here, but not anything new. You know, this episode didn't provide anything new from Goku and Vegeta and Jiren. The majority of the episode was Universe 7's battle with Dispo, which is Frieza at first, and that's where we cut to next. We go to the fight with Frieza. Dispo's watching the Jiren thing, but Frieza gets in there. He focuses on him. More fighting. Dispo using his speed. Frieza's blocking all of Dispo's attacks. You know, very, very good defense here by Frieza, who actually notes that his movements are too easy to predict. They're too direct. He does the move where he throws like this ring at Frieza, and the ring surrounds him and, like, you know, contracts into him and then blows up. Just like what Gotenks used to do with his move. And, you know, I prognosticated that last week, but of course that move did nothing. And Frieza makes an interesting remark about how they might run out of stamina soon, which I thought was very interesting. And it's actually, there's kind of a funny thing where Dispo talks about how, you know, you just want to survive, and I can tell that you're evil, and Frieza's like, well, too bad, which I thought was awesome. And then he goes through this epic transformation. Gold rises up brightly, engulfs his body. Yes, they did reuse the animation from episode 95 again. You know, they've reused that 2 or 3 times already. I don't mind it too much because it looks so great either way, but it is banked animation, I mean, without question. So Frieza does indeed become Golden Frieza, and things get serious. So Dispo then connects with a big right hand to Frieza, and Frieza's like, that's it. Big right hook to the body by Frieza, and he just starts to lay in on Dispo. Golden Frieza rushes Dispo with great vengeance and furious anger, and then Dispo decides to start glowing purple, so his whole body glows purple, and Vermouth, or Belmont, however you want to pronounce his name, he says that this is Dispo's super speed mode, and even the Omni Kings cannot keep up with this. In fact, not even the God Pad can keep up with it. And the Great Priest says, well, they'll have to upgrade it. So even Apple is existent in the Dragon Ball world. Remember, you got to buy a new iPhone every year or else the old one gets bricked. That's what they want you to do, right? But anyways, what I liked about this is it's cool that Dispo has that super speed mode and he's glowing purple. So it is a throwback to like God Ki. Well, not God Ki, but more so God of Destruction Ki, Hakai Energy, which we've seen from Beerus before. And Dispo looks like Beerus, so I mean, there is that. But it's not God Ki at all. I know some folks thought it was. I thought it might have been, but no, it's just his special speed mode. And now, because of this, Dispo is much, much faster. And this, of course, would lead to Gohan jumping in and kicking Dispo away. So finally, we have Gohan there. So it's Gohan and Frieza squaring off against Dispo. Frieza says, there's a line here that was kind of weird where Frieza's like, oh, I might still betray you. And Gohan's like, well, I'll just beat you if that happens. I think Frieza's just being sarcastic here. There's a lot of sarcasm here from Frieza. In fact, there's a line later on where Gohan comes up with a strategy and Frieza's like, I'll follow your lead, Universe 7 leader. And it's like, he's so sarcastic, bro, and I love that. You know, Frieza might be on the Team Universe 7, but his sarcasm is still there. So what happens is they do long-range attacks. You know, Frieza starts to fire these red death beams. Dispo dodges. Gohan fires attacks. Dispo fires back. But then Gohan comes up with a plan. He wants Frieza to use his energy to cage him with a bunch of beams, like, surrounding him, which I think somebody in my comment section predicted. And if you are that person, you are a great prognosticator because that's exactly what happened. And then meanwhile, if there's beams everywhere, it'll be difficult for Dispo to move because Dispo will be trying to avoid getting blasted. So it's almost like, you know, like you're surrounded by all these blasts, so you can't go at super speed because you have to watch out for the blast. Like, you have to be more careful. And I like that strategy. And this would allow Gohan to face Dispo up front in hand-to-hand combat, you know, face-to-face. Gohan actually manages to block Dispo at one point and connects. And I'm like, wow, so does this mean that Gohan's improved to hit levels? Because I feel like Hit had more trouble against Dispo, you know, when they fought before. But remember, you know, Hit didn't have that handicap of, you know, or not the handicap, the help from Frieza. But I'm wondering just how strong Gohan has gotten. So Dispo is trapped inside of the cage thing, but Gohan's also stuck. And Gohan has to go, you know, head to head. Gohan comes at him with punches. Frieza's holding the blast back as long as he can for Gohan, who's pushing back Dispo. Gohan misses a big shot, and Frieza then staggers back because he can't hold it in. But then suddenly Gohan comes up from behind and grabs Dispo. And at first I thought this was the Cobra Clutch, bro. I was having some flashbacks of classic pro wrestling, bro. I thought Gohan had him in the $1 Million Dream, right? But that's not the case. So Gohan's holding Dispo, sort of like, it's a little bit like what happened with Goku, Piccolo, and Raditz at the beginning of Dragon Ball Z. And Frieza shoots a huge beam. Dispo and Gohan are eliminated. So, couple things I want to talk about here and give my thoughts. I mean, that's pretty much the end of the episode. Couple things I want to discuss, you know, about what I thought here. Number one, I'm very disappointed in the way Gohan was written. I felt like, yes, he went out pretty decently and he did some cool things in the tournament, but there were so many possibilities of things they could have done with Gohan that I felt were left on the table. We didn't really see a great Gohan and Goku moment. We saw a little bit of Gohan and Piccolo teaming up, but we really didn't see Gohan really like have that moment of that come to Jesus meeting, as some would say, that moment of clarity where he thinks about Pan and Videl and fights for them. We didn't really see that. You know, we didn't even see Gohan rage boost. Like, can you remember Gohan even doing a rage boost even once? That was a big disappointment. I was expecting, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I was expecting it to be like the Cell Saga Gohan. That's not what I'm trying to tell you. But I was expecting more from Gohan. Like, this was a big letdown for me. And I like the idea that Gohan sort of sacrificed himself to get Dispo out. And now who's left is Vegeta, 17, Frieza, and Goku against Toppo and Jiren. That's pretty much what we have left right now. But the leader of Universe 7 is out. And next week, of course, you know, Goku and Vegeta prepare to battle Jiren, but Toppo, next week, folks, Toppo takes off his shirt. So that's going to be interesting, but I'll cover more on that tomorrow. But anyways, so Gohan getting thrown out was a big letdown for me, or, you know, self-sacrificing. I just thought there could have been more done with the character. Seeing him team up with Frieza was cool, but I'm pretty let down by the way Gohan. I really wanted to see a little bit of old Gohan. Not saying he has to go back, just a little bit. I mean, come on. Also, am happy that Gohan was next only because it eliminates those stupid Dragon Balls are in the intro theories. You know, every time there's a new like intro or outro, people dissect it and they think that like the theory was that whoever's holding the numerical Dragon Balls in the intro to the show, that's like, you know, the order of elimination, and that's false. Like, that's complete. I've always said from the beginning, you never want to look into those theories. Remember, people thought that Gohan and Goku would be the last two in there, and I even thought that at one time because of the outro, the previous outro when they show that. You never want to look into those intro and outros too much, man. I've always said that. It's just animation. It's meant to look cool. The only time that I think they really nailed us was when they had Vegeta with the glowy eyes. They kind of gave us a clue there, but they revealed that the very next week, so it wasn't that big of a thing. You know, Toei will never spoil the show outright. Little bit of teasers, but they'll never spoil the show in the intro. They're not secretly telling you the order of eliminations in the intro, dude. That's just, it's not the case. So don't ever think that. But overall, the episode was fun to watch, but it's definitely not one of my favorites. You know, it felt just kind of by the numbers in a way. Some interesting ideas here and there and some interesting concepts, but I just can't help but think how let down I am at this Gohan thing. You know, again, I'm not saying he has to go back and be like the new main guy and go back to being the Cell Saga Gohan, but I was expecting at least one moment of rage. Where is my Gohan rages out moment? At least one. Give me one, dude. That's what Gohan's character was for the majority of this freaking series, and I don't know. Aesthetically speaking, the episode did look really, really nice. Great animation, great fight scene. So you won't be bored. I don't think you'll be bored watching this, but it's one of those things where, like, you know, are you ever going to really revisit this in the future? And, you know, it's just not an episode that I'm going to go back and watch over and over again. It was fine, but it was just a whatever episode. It's like one of those, let's get Dispo and Gohan out and move on to the next thing. And that's where we're going next, which is Topo. Next week, Topo versus Frieza in 17. Anyways, let me know your thoughts in the comments, what you think about this. This whole situation with the episode and Gohan. Are you let down by Gohan's elimination? Did you want him to do more? Did you think Dispo should have done more? Let me know. Don't forget also to sign up for Verve if you haven't. They're owned by Crunchyroll. You can watch every episode of Dragon Ball Super subbed in beautiful high definition on all your devices. Plus, you can also watch other anime like My Hero Academia and Black Clover. I may start covering My Hero on this channel because I know a lot of people love that show and I haven't seen it yet, and I might start covering it for all y'all. So let me know in the comments if you want me to start covering My Hero, if you care about it. And if you don't care about it, maybe we should, like, together, like, get together and watch it. You know, like, let's have, like, a Geek Army, like, viewing party for My Hero. Maybe we'll do something like that. You know, that'd be pretty cool. Anyways, folks, hope you all have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for the episode 125 preview. Talk to y'all then. Have a great rest of your night.